Hi, this is Pastor Eddie Cox. Welcome to the Weekly Five. We have just started a new series called Over It, and I think that's probably 2020 for everybody, is over it. But what does that really mean? And we went to Philippians to figure out some of the things that, how does it look? What does it look like to be over it? And Philippians is my favorite book, by the way. I set up my life when I was a teenager, tried to, as best I could, off Philippians and try to do the things that it said to do. It's a really strange book because it tells you to do some stuff like rejoice when things go wrong, be happy, and all the things that, to rejoice and be happy when things are not like they're supposed to be. And so that's kind of what Paul was telling us. He wrote the book, he's in prison, he's saying all these things. And so I decided to go back and try to figure out, all right, what did I learn as a teenager? What do I need to remember? And so I had some things. I really know that right now people are going through a crisis, or you're in a crisis or coming out of one. And so through all of that, what does that teach us? What do I need to know going into this? And so one of the things I did learn when I was a teenager was that I wrote this down. One of the truths is your crisis is not your identity. Your crisis is not who you are. Your mistakes, your past, all those things, that isn't really who you are. Philippians will tell us this and who we really are. So I remember going and thinking, all right, did I do this or is God mad at me? I think a lot of people get into that when it comes to a crisis or something went wrong. But we got to remember our identity is in something else, in someone else, and that is Jesus Christ. He's the one that puts the identity on us. We are with Him. As soon as I accepted Jesus Christ in my life, I had two things that happened. My identity changed and my position changed. And I remembered that as I was, a teenager going into college. There's two things you got to remember. I am with Jesus Christ. I am like Jesus Christ. And I have the same position as Jesus Christ. He gives me a seat at the table. So this is why Paul says to rejoice in all things. Basically, be happy when things go wrong. Because you are not like anybody else. And you're not, from here. Your position has changed. So Jesus Christ gave us a new identity and a new position. That's what I learned early on. And it changed how I thought about things and the things that I did. Let me say this. Let me give you some positions. A position change would be the words I would use. Death to life, sin to salvation, lost to found. The biggest one is orphan to family. I am part of the family of God. I am a part of what Jesus is a part of. This is what He gave us and what He did for us. So we have to know that all of us is what it says in John 1:12. But to all who did receive Him, who believed in His name, He gave the right to become children of God. So I'm a child of God. I accepted Jesus Christ in my life. His blood covered my sin. He changed my life. It also changed my position. He says He gave us citizenship in heaven. So those things I remember. And those things I remember as I went through my college years and those things, trying to remember, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's my verse. I don't know what yours is, but I took out of that the all things. And I did all things that I could possibly do. Two themes you need to remember out of this whole book of the Bible when it comes to Philippians. We never quit. We never give up. We always keep moving. Because I think some of us will get to that point, and it may have happened already. In 2020, we could have all given up. So we got to remember that we never give in, never quit, never give up, and it's not about me. Those are the things that I remember. The second truth, last truth for you, your life is God's project, not yours. And I remember this when I was in high school and going into college. I can do all things through Christ was one of them. And the other verse is be confident of this very thing, that the God who began a good work in me will continue it into completion unto that day. The God that began a work in me will complete it. And that was the first time it stuck out. It was in a basketball game. And right before the game, I did the devotion. And I realized at that moment, this is much bigger than a game. This is what God is going to do with me. And I'm His project and you're His project. He doesn't forget us. He's always there. Remember, never give up and never give in. See you next week.